Good afternoon, and welcome to the NCEES webinar, Principal Evaluation Mid-Year Check-In Process. We will again do a quick sound check. If you can hear the sound of my voice, your settings should be okay for today's session. If you would please signify your audio is working by raising your hand beside your name. Good, thank you very much. All right, let's begin.
Delia, can I interrupt just 1 second?
Sure.
Just to tell everybody, if you have questions, please put your questions in the question box. And you can find a handout in the handout section today. And in the chat area are some links that you'll be interested in for today's presentation. And Delia, I'm just going to talk to you. Would you mind checking the recording part again? Because I think I accidentally, when I moused by it, might have stopped the recording, but make sure it's still going.
Mine is recording.
Okay, great.
Oh, it did stop. No, mine's still recording.
Okay. All right, we're good to go.
All right, moving on to the next slide. Today, my name is Delia Payne, and I am an educational consultant. I am filling in for Dr. Kimberly Simmons, and joining me today is Cami Naron, and she is the TNL lead for the Department of Public Instruction. So today we have some webinar norms. Please minimize your outside distractions. Be attentive and participate. Notify the presenter if you are having technical difficulties by raising your hand, and use the questions bar on your dashboard to ask questions, and we will periodically stop and check to see what questions you have.
All right.
All right, so the webinar outcomes for today are: we're going to be accessing the system. We're going to review the teacher evaluation process, review the starting evaluation plan, review training and orientation step, review the PDP and the beginning plan, review the self-assessment, and review the professional development component.
Okay, and I'll update this. It looks like we're missing some areas. We will be going over the principal and AP evaluation process too, and the middle of year process. All right, so I think this is my area to jump in. To access the NCEES system, districts should be using our IAM single sign-on, and that's our NCEES Cloud sign-on area. So most of your districts should be logging in through this IAM account. And again, they would click on the icon for True North Logic. This is what it looks like on this slide. It's the green compass circle with the words True North Logic under it. So do train your teachers and your staff. If they are looking for the NCEES, it is under True North Logic icon. So principals, once you click that True North Logic icon, this is where you would land, and you would see your name up under the top right corner. It would say hello, and it would list your name, and you would land on your home page most likely. Also in your system, do know that we do try to keep help guides for you. I am in the process of updating these. If you'll notice, we do have new colors this past year. So all of our help guides are still in the orange and green color scheme, but all of the steps should be pretty much the same. If you have a specific help guide that you can't access in here, please do shoot me an email or contact me at NCDPI, and we'll move that up on the list of getting updated. So we'll move on to the teacher evaluation process. So if you are an evaluator as a principal, I'm going to hand this back over to Delia, and she'll explain this process. I might do a sound check.
Muted.
So,
Unmuted.
So, Delia, can you hear us now?
yes.
Okay, so I'm
So
going to hand these slides over to you.
The North Carolina teacher evaluation process has 4 steps. Today we will focus only on steps 3 and 4. In step 3 is the observation cycle, and in step 4 it is the summary evaluation and goal setting. So this one-page visual can be found on our NCEES wiki. We will also provide a link in the chat bar. Our webinar today will focus on the bottom part of the one-page visual. Step 3, observation cycle, includes component 5, which is observation, and component 6, observation conference. Progressing to the end of the year, you come to step 4, summary evaluation and goal setting. This includes component 7, summary evaluation conference, and scoring the teacher summary rating form, and component 8, the PD plans. As a reminder, I want to encourage everyone to use the PDPs as a roadmap to teacher improved practice and ultimately resulting in student success. Here you see another resource we will provide a link to in the chat bar. This chart outlines the North Carolina evaluation process for each of the evaluation cycles. There are 3 types of evaluation cycles. The comprehensive evaluation cycle is for the probationary teacher. Standard evaluation cycle is for the career status teacher in their renewal year, or can be used for any career status teacher at the discretion of the principal. Some principals may choose to use the standard evaluation cycle if they think a closer look at all standards is necessary. One example may include a change in assignment for a teacher. The abbreviated evaluation cycle is for career status teachers not in their renewal cycle. Elements of the evaluation process are identified across the top. This resource is a quick and easy way to reference what is required within each cycle. And each of these charts can be found in our NCEES wiki, both probably under the teacher page and the principal page.
Okay, so principals and assistant principals or evaluators, this is the process that you would go through with your teachers and your support staff. So notice that during this mid-year process, the pre-observation conference is available but not required, and then the teacher would acknowledge that. The formal observation would occur, and then the post-observation on your side, and then the teacher does acknowledge that post-observation and can provide a written response. The principal or AP or evaluator would then acknowledge that written response and then conduct the locking activities. Just a reminder here, watch for the asterisk that can be in these containers. That means that field is required. And as you drill down into the containers, sometimes that asterisk gets really tiny, so do watch for that to make sure you complete all areas. Going into the PDP review cycle for principals, it starts with the teacher doing their PDP details. The principal or AP responsibility would be the evaluator's signature. If there's been a mentor assigned, depending on the plan, in this PDP, then that's where they would sign. And then the teacher would add their signature, and then, of course, the locking activities. Principal evaluation process. I'm going to turn this back over to Delia.
Thank you. All right, for the principal evaluation process, you see that we have a one-page outline of the principal evaluation process. This one-pager was developed for your convenience so that you could see all 7 of the processes and identify optional forms and required documents. For today's webinar, our focus will be on step 4, data collection. And then step 5, the mid-year conference. So we look a little bit at step 4 and step 5. And step 4 states, I can get my screen a little bigger here. Step 4 states data collection. So the principal collects data agreed upon as evidence to support the goals. So the principal and assistant principal of evaluation process, there's documentation. It's an optional form used to document visits and conferences. So now in step 5, you're looking at the mid-year conference. This is where you meet to discuss the progress of those goals. So during that mid-year evaluation, you discuss the progress towards achieving goals, and there is a form that you can use, and it'll be used by the evaluator. So this document is located on the principals page of the NCEES Wiki. And I have some links here that I will put in the chat bar for you. And we'll put those in right now.
Okay.
And I will send those to the group. So did all 3 of them go through?
Let's look.
They didn't go through as links. They went in as titles. I'll go back and put them in as hyperlinks then.
Okay.
All right, so now we'll go.
So now, and see if we have any questions.
Yes, we'll see if there are any questions. And no, there aren't any at this time. So I'm going to turn it back over to Cammie, and I will try to get these links put in. They didn't go in correctly.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now it's the principals and assistant principals' turn for their evaluation. And this should have already been begun, so we're going to have to reopen that evaluation. So you would log into NCEES, and here are the responsibilities for the principal and AP and the evaluator. So principals and APs would prepare for their initial meeting, the self-evaluation, identification of performance goals, identify change initiatives, gather data, artifacts, and evidence. They would develop and implement strategies to improve personal and performance and attain goals, and then go over the mid-year and final evaluation conferences. The evaluator throughout would supervise the principal and AP evaluation process. The evaluator identifies strengths and areas for improvement, and makes recommendations for improving performance. And they would also ensure accurate information. Well, my clicker wants to be happy today. Here we go. So once you've logged into the NCEES system and you've landed on your home page, next to that you should see My Evaluation. And then once you get to the evaluation screen, you'll click on the Current Evaluation tab that should be already up. And then you'll navigate to your principal or assistant principal evaluation process for 2017-2018 and click on that hyperlink. It opens up the container, and you should currently see some green check marks that says you finished the beginning of the year containers. And that's your orientation, your pre-evaluation planning, and the initial meeting. Data collection is optional. It does not have one of those little in-progress flower icons. So this is where data collection can be stored, but is an optional area. So we're actually heading now for coming up the mid-year conference, and you would click on that container. So once inside that container, you'll see that it is titled Mid-Year Conference, and it will list the last time you've updated the container. The first one is your performance goals, and those are your mid-year updates. And remember, watch for those asterisks. All 3 of these little areas in this container are required. So the performance goals, the mid-year review, evaluator signature, and mid-year review principal AP signature all have to be completed. I have broken out the performance goals mid-year updates to show you a little bit what it looks like inside. So once you've clicked on that performance goals, you will see where you can edit the mid-year evaluation date. And again, where I talked about that very tiny asterisk, if you look right before mid-year evaluation date, you'll see that asterisk, which means it is a required field, and you must click Edit to go in there and set that date, and that's a principal's duty, or the AP that's getting evaluated. And then, if you scroll on down the page, you'll come to Performance Goals Beginning of Year. This should have a green check mark because you've already set those and finalized that area of the beginning of year. However, this can be edited. Notice that this is also required because it has an asterisk there too. So if you don't see that green check mark, you may need to go back to the earlier containers. And then scrolling on down the page some more, you'll see the new performance goals mid-year. And if you were wanting to set some additional performance goals, you would click there, and in here that says goals aligned to these standards. And so you would choose the goals that you're going to put in and which standard it does align to. Notice that standard 4 is a required standard. All right, and that was quick. Let's see if we have any questions on any of those steps.
There aren't any questions at this time.
Okay. All right. All right. Did you have anything to add? This is your time, guys, to get some questions in. Please do type those in your questions area on your webinar panel.
And I will say that I put the link in to the principals page on our NCEES wiki, and on that page you'll be able to find all of the graphics that we showed today in the webinar.
Nice. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to move to the next slide. Do know you do have time to get any questions. So additional resources for you. And I don't know if you want to talk to this, Delia, or you want me to just go ahead and announce this. There is a new self-paced EE course out there.
Yeah, I mean, they can read what's on the screen here. It's a new online professional development, culturally responsive teaching about American Indians, and there is a link there.
Yep, to the rt3nc.org, where you can find all of the self-paced courses that are housed in the NCEES system.
We are currently not offering any facilitated courses, but we certainly have plenty of self-paced courses for you to choose from.
Yes.
And if you, on this next slide, this is the link to our wikis space, and then in the chat bar I put the link that you can go directly to the principals page to find resources. Once the webinar is finished, we archive the webinar, and sometime later today, tomorrow, I will have it uploaded to the archived webinar page, and we'll have the recording and a PDF copy of the slides, which Cammie has already put in the handouts for you today. So check back often. We are currently working on our webinars for spring semester and should be posting those soon.
Okay. I still don't see any questions coming in, so hopefully everybody is okay. I do know you can email us at any time or contact us if you do come up with some questions that you might need some help with. Let's see. And do know that you do have a designated person in your district to put in remedy portal tickets for any issues that you're having with evaluation plans or professional development, anything in the NCEES system. And this is where that person would go to enter that remedy ticket.
And make sure that you log that when you're working on a ticket that it's logged with the Home-Based Support Center, the HBSC.
That's correct.
Having centralized, having those centralized tickets means that we document all issues in those areas. That's
correct. So sometimes, even if you were to email us or call us, we still might ask you to put in that ticket so that we can document what we need to do to fix the issue that you're calling about.
And I currently don't see any more questions.
Okay. I'm going to go back to this slide and wish everybody a great winter break and happy holidays. So thank you guys for attending today. We had about 30, so that's great.
Thank you so much for attending.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a great rest of the week. Thank you.